Hello, my name is HQ of HQ Reacts. Welcome to my channel. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button, share the stream, and click the notification button for new content.
Hey y'all, hello. This is HQ in the house, and y'all come back with the second stream. Be wild. Okay. Hello. This is wild. This stuff is going absolutely nuts. You know, I'm not one of those people that really know Candace, who really knows Candace like that. You know what I'm saying? But this young lady showed y'all. She showed y'all. I didn't know this young lady was this as popular. She was as popular as she was, and y'all let her get it off on y'all. Y'all let her get it off. This young lady got the receipts. Hey, Osmos. This young lady got the receipts. Like, what's going on? How y'all let her get the drop on y'all? The Candace must be getting a drop on everybody because she relevant. That was her friend. Charlie Kirk was her friend. He was her friend, and she don't believe half the stuff that's going on with them. And neither do these other people. It's plenty of people that don't believe the bullshit. There's plenty. I didn't even believe some of this stuff. The shavings on the bullet. Didn't believe it. Didn't know what it was. The text messages that he left with his boyfriend, girlfriend, or trans, or the transformer, or whatever. Nobody believe that shit. We don't believe that shit. There's plenty of people who don't believe this bullshit, right? But we can't prove none of it, right? There's several reasons why there's been an outpouring of conspiracy theories around Charlie Kirk, especially around his death. Some of it stem from, the politics. The lefties did it. The righties did it. Strong supporters and opponents alike. He was a very polarizing figure. It was what it was. He had a large following that was conservative, MAGA aligned, Christian, and anti-woke. I don't even fucking know what the anti-woke shit is. At the same time, many of his statements drew criticism for being inflammatory or misleading. It just is what it is. I don't care what you say, it just is what it is. That means both people had either admiration or distrust for this man. And they were high, whatever it was. When someone is this polarizing, rumor, conspiracy, more than likely you're going to get that. Provocative. You know, people are provocative. We got a history of provocative people. Controversial claims. He made claims that fact checkers have flagged as false or misleading on topics of race, civil rights, voter fraud, COVID-19. When someone has a track record like that of having misleading conversations with people, people are more inclined to believe more extreme things about this person or distrust official narratives. We definitely distrust these things. I did when I saw the text messages. It was a public event. He was killed in the public, right? Uncertainty. We don't know what the hell happened. People said bullet came out the front, the back. We don't know. Sudden shocking nature of his death naturally generates questions. People want explanations of this bullshit. Sometimes before full verified information is released. Because everybody was like, it's the lefties. Now we got, maybe he ain't here, maybe he ain't there. This creates fertile ground for conspiracy theories, mistakes, incomplete information. Ty Robinson is saying, I didn't do it. And then the social media. Okay? The speed at which information spreads online, misinformation, rumors is very fast. Influencers, commentators, political actors, everybody scrambling to be on the damn camera to say something crazy. Emotional context tends to get traction. Accusations tend to get traction. Motives, narratives, framing, because Charlie Kirk's views were strongly tied up in identity. Culture war, conservative Christian activism. People have strong ideological, emotional incentives. They interpret events the way they fits their existing narrative, I guess. Suppression of conservative speech. The lefties came and got him. He was one of yours. We don't know. Betrayal from when? The call is coming from in the house. And I heard that the other day. These narratives can favor conspiratorial thinking because they feed into an us versus them worldview. Y'all need to stop that for real, for real. Ambiguous or contested information about the motive, details. The more ambiguous it is, the more room people have to fill in those gaps of speculation. For example, in this case, there's varying reports or controversies around the motive, what the suspects' relationships were, what preceded the killing. Did Tyler even ever talk to Charlie Kirk? Also, people have to question the official people. A lot of people don't trust police or the FBI or anything like that. Okay? Specific conspiracies, examples. Okay? Alleged killer, text messages, confessed his motives were fabricated or scripted. Some suggest authorities invented this shit. It sounds weird to me. Sound way hella weird to me. Another is the motive. It's being artfully framed along cultural lines, war lines, trans, hate speech, war speech, hate speech for political purposes. We don't know. Some people claim foreign states or adversaries are spreading disinformation around his death to sow discord, like Candace Owens came out with. Okay? The moment is emotionally charged. A public death. Okay? Political divisions are high. People are already distrustful of institutions and political figures, right? Theories are already primed for prior conspiracies of similar contexts. Mass shootings. So I went online. I went on that TikTok thing. You know I don't go on that TikTok thing very often. I went on that TikTok thing. And these people wild out here. These people are.
Theories about the death of Charlie Kirk have been exploding online.
Israel will kill him.
The martyr, Charlie Kirk.
There have been more than 2 million distinct posts in the last week on X or Twitter referencing these conspiracy theories. That's according to the data analytics firm Peak Metrics, which said that it's actually twice as many posts as there were after the assassination attempt against Donald Trump last summer. Think about that. Some left-wing figures have been pushing the unhinged theory that Donald Trump himself orchestrated the killing to distract from the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Other liberal activists have tried to connect the suspect to far-right white supremacist groups that had been clashing with Charlie Kirk, even though there is mounting evidence that the suspect was upset with Charlie Kirk's conservative ideology. And then on the right, some of Trump's allies like Steve Bannon and Laura Loomer have been pushing the idea that the suspect was part of a terror cell, even though the authorities have said that the suspect acted alone.
It seems like we're being spoon-fed a narrative.
Others on the right have been leaning hard into anti-Semitic tropes and are blaming Israel.
I heard that Charlie Kirk was afraid Israel was going to kill him.
Threats were made.
These theories are insane, but the disinformation expert I spoke to said they don't really need to make any sense because on the internet, the incentives are totally backwards. The podcasters, influencers, and grifters that have been promoting these conspiracy theories need to churn out take after take. The more inflammatory, the better, so that they can gain more followers, build subscribers, and keep the money flowing.
Yeah, it does seem as though they out there making their money, they doing their thing. I believe some of these people get paid to start saying narratives, right? And we'll talk about that later, with Nick Fuentes. But some of these people get paid to come up with these theories and do this shit.
He said, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. He's saying that in a group chat with a bunch of other people. And they're saying, please don't invite Candace. That might lead to short term, but it's not good long term. So everything that she was saying about this group text and these conversations, it's kind of proving her point because she's bringing receipts.
Well, she also has been in touch with both, I believe, the shooter, Tyler Robinson's family, as well as his furry love and tranny boyfriend.
Who disappeared.
Yeah, we haven't seen, who we also haven't heard from, George Zinn. This is why people will ask me on Minnect. By the way, you can connect with any of the people on today's panel on Minnect. Their links will be in the description of today's episode. But Vinny, one of the common things I get, a guy sent me a really great video, and it's a ballistic, so it's a guy, it's on the...
Now he's starting to spread theories. They all starting to spread theories. Nobody believes what they heard. Nobody believes. It's too much room for interpretation.
Redacted podcast. Have you ever seen Redacted? They interview a guy who has over 40 years of digital experience.
I saw that.
Where it's,
We've seen the bullet come in.
The guy says, I've been using Photoshop since 1985 when it was Photoshop 1.07.
Yes.
I have 40 years of experience. What he does is he shows the bullet trajectory through the cameras that were used to capture a different angle of Charlie Kirk, which shows that according to this guy, and he goes, I'm not a ballistics expert, but I can tell you, I know everything about film. I know everything about video, and I can break down the frames in this video and show you that there is an object moving from behind Charlie and out his neck. So the one thing I keep getting asked, people send me this stuff on my neck. They sent me the video, and I was like, that's very interesting. I've never seen that before.
I've been saying for the last couple weeks, you cannot trust the official narrative the government's been feeding us about Charlie.
And some people are talking about he ain't even dead. They going far goofy.
Charlie Kirk's death. First, Charlie was openly critical of Israel in the weeks leading up to his death. Secondly, new video evidence shows a man in sunglasses remotely detonating the lapel pin that Charlie was wearing on his chest. The exit wound on Charlie's neck does not match the path of the bullet, which came from behind Charlie, not in front of him. And lastly, a private plane owned by a millionaire with suspicious ties took off just miles from where Charlie was shot. Psych! Do you see how stupid you people sound? You conspiracy theorists? Did your mom take too much Tylenol when she was pregnant with you? If I didn't need to lay it out any clearer, stop profiting off the death of a man while his widow is grieving. Bye, everyone. I told you that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That could have been a conspiracy. You heard the first guy, it could have been true. Though you heard the first guy talk about, the bullet coming out the back. There's plenty of people saying these things. Some of them just too far goofy, but some of them, you can actually see how these things fit.
Erica Kirk was continuing Charlie Kirk's legacy, and the truth is she's not. Right when Charlie started questioning a specific nation, they took him out. Almost like they just wiped it away, because he was getting too close to the truth. Erica Kirk, the grieving widow who never once smudged her dark eyeshadow, now says the show will go on, and she forgives him. She forgives the man who we know isn't even probably the guy. And guess what? Her father worked for Raytheon's Israeli division. This isn't Charlie's legacy. And here's what we're not supposed to talk about. There is no coroner's report, no church funeral, no burial site, no official autopsy, no ballistics report, and no death certificate. The entire crime scene was destroyed, evidence erased, a private jet radar off 12 minutes away, 20 minutes after Charlie was unalived, and the weapon was found on land owned by Palantir. Kash Patel fired multiple heads of the FBI in that region days before September 10th. But sure, Erica Kirk is so strong on podcasts, leaving her kids with a nanny after they watched their father's life be taken. And just 48 hours after Charlie's assassination, they marketed your grief for money and power. They turned this man's life being taken into a business and called it legacy.
You need to go throw yourself down some stairs, Cody. Shut the fuck up.
Human being shot Charlie Kirk. Let me explain.
Okay.
There's a muzzle flash behind him. Okay? And that wound is an exit wound, not an entry wound. He got shot from behind.
Okay.
He got shot by a drone, not a human being. You're gonna leave this whole thing, even if you got Core Horse to do it, and whoever's behind, the killer, 22-year-old kid, to leave it all to you, who's not a killer, never killed anybody before, to take him out? No. Lone gunman? Absolutely not. So why wouldn't you use a drone, right? So there's a muzzle flash behind him. in a vent where no human being can be placed there. So wouldn't you just put a patsy up there and the shot goes off? There he is.
Right.
Meanwhile, you got hit from the back. Nobody's even looking for a drone. No, you're not even thinking about that. And the Chinese have mosquito-sized drones for reconnaissance. We're seeing all types of, like, Lockheed Martin, they have drones now to where you can't even detect them. So all these things are coming.
Like I said, some of these theories are far-fetched. Yeah, they far-fetched, but you see how these people are so imaginative with some of this stuff. Because you don't know, because if you're not really familiar with any of this stuff and you're just seeing it, you're seeing it close to, on TV, you don't know what the hell is going on. But you got to entertain these things to show through the shit.
Now, if you look into what type of drones are used for military, assassinations or operations, you don't think they have this type of technology they can just use on him? One perfect shot? You only need one shot. You're telling me a kid with a lazy eye changes clothes, goes to the roof, takes the shot, perfect shot, changes his clothes again, disassembles the rifle, and then throws it in a bush?
Yeah.
And, oh yeah, well, mind you, puts the rifle back together again, then throws it in the bush.
Yeah, which is really weird. Which is a really weird snag that I have. I have an issue with that right there, definitely.
And do all that in record time.
The Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories are starting to spiral out of control. Okay. And the only thing that we have to hold on to that we can say is truth is that what they say took place that day is not the truth. Even people like Nancy Grace has chimed in on the discussion. And even though she feels that these conspiracy theories are exactly what we're saying they are, conspiracy theories, that the director of the FBI is entertaining these theories to figure out what is the truth. Okay, there's a lot of people that have been making assumptions and looking into the videos, diving deep into what took place that day to figure out.
Yeah, those text messages are really weird. Everything is spelled out. Everything is typed out all in a neat little package. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Exactly what has taken place and who's lying and who's telling the truth. I want to show you guys some of these videos that are spiraling completely out of control. And let's talk about this, react to it. Before we do me a quick favor. Hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm so that this video can reach more people like yourself. I truly appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and hop in.
Tonight, the FBI says the Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories are legit. That's the first time we've ever heard that from the government. Think about it. JFK, UFOs, it goes on and on and on. But tonight, Kash Patel says he is actually investigating the many conspiracy theories surrounding the murder of Charlie Kirk. This as the suspect's male.
Why would you need to investigate all those conspiracy theories if you have the guy? If the guy confessed, if the guy, you have all of these things, you have the evidence, you have the gun, you have the guy, you have the letters, the text, the every stuff etched on the shells, the casings and whatnot. If you have all of these things, why do you need to investigate? Why do you need to run down all those theories? Because something doesn't add up to you guys. That's why you're running down the theory, because not everything adds up. Because it was too convenient. All the things lined up for that boy.
Lover is eyed. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
Less than 2 weeks ago, our country was robbed of one of the brightest lights of our times.
My husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men, just like the one who took his life.
Kirk's wife, Erica, wowing the crowd and sending a message like no other. This as Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, is literally chasing down conspiracy theories. Listen.
And I'm saying, why are you chasing down conspiracy theories if this is the correct stuff? If you already have old boys, if you already have all that information, why are we chasing down more stuff? You shouldn't be chasing down more stuff if that's the case. But you are. So something else is cool. She has a penis and so does your wife.
Because Patel considered Kirk a close friend, a ally in the MAGA movement and the greater conservative movement. But I also do want to point out that Director Patel and the FBI as a whole maybe have not
So
necessarily...
can anybody explain to me why this young man that was standing in front of Charlie Kirk is practicing being outraged at seeing Charlie Kirk get shot or assassinated or whatever before he even arrives at the event?
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence?
This young man's name is Hunter Kozak, and for some reason, he was seen practicing being horrified by something. And then next thing you know, something horrifying happened 15 minutes later. So I want to ask you, do you think this was a coincidence? And if not, why would somebody be in the crowd practicing being horrified and then out of nowhere, something horrifying happened, like he knew it was about to happen? So how do you think he did? Did he do a good job?
What's protruding out of Charlie's back? Air compressor backpack. Latex on neck covering. Liquid patch. Detonated to produce shot, wound, and liquid. Rumor has it an award, winning FX makeup, artist was part of his entourage that day. Was the necklace really an airline?
I know St. Charles, but they're trying to make him seem like he was a martyr. They're trying to make him a martyr.
New details on the Charlie Kirk death that have not been reported anywhere as far as I know. I've been doing a deep dive and I want to go through that information with you. Right. Like Candace Owens, I've been digging in with witnesses.
Hey, Claire, you can believe everything people tell you. You can believe everything people tell you. Some of us don't believe everything people tell us. So therefore, these conspiracy theories might be interesting to some of us. Maybe not to you. Maybe you believe everything you hear, but not all of us do.
Contacts and people close to Charlie Kirk that I know have these details. As you know, I've stayed away from the big conspiracy stories. Some of you blasted me for not going over them, and now they've been proven to be sexy and mysterious and sizzling, but completely false. So I am just trying to bring you the truth in between covering other big news stories. So here's what I've gathered. The bullet.
I believe that the writings, I believe that the text messages that he sent, or he said he sent, or he said he did, I don't believe those. I just don't believe those. They walk him through his whole day. My whole day of him and his assassinating Charlie Kirk. I don't believe those things. They're just too convenient for me. I'm not a conspiracy theorist person. I'm just saying nobody does that. That doesn't even make sense the way he put all of that together. And Mark, you must love Michelle Obama. What the fuck is going on with you and Michelle Obama? Man, you must love her for real.
Crashed through C2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Sadly, completely destroying Charlie Kirk's spinal cord. This is what made him tense up. This is what made his heart stop beating and why gushes of blood versus squirts of blood were coming out of him. The doctor found the main portion of the bullet near his T1 thoracic vertebrae, so near the spine, down where the neck vertebrae connect to the upper back vertebrae.
I don't actually know what I believe, Claire. I mean, I'm open to whatever they come and say is correct. The young man, Ty Robinson, keeps saying he's not guilty. He keeps saying he didn't do this. So I'm willing to wait the evidence out.
Vertebrae. Now, this person that I spoke with did not know whether the bullet was a 30-06. That was not shared. They just referenced it as a bullet. Also, near T1, but not next to the bullet, were multiple fragments of the bullet. Now, a Full Metal Jacket 30-06 round would have gone right through Charlie, would have gone right through the bone of Charlie. A Soft Point 30-06 would likely have mushroomed, but caused massive amounts of damage, which we didn't see. We also know for a fact no bullet left his body. There was no blood spray, no blood spatter, and no hole in the banner behind him. Now we are believing that the bullet, a 30-06, because of the gun that was found in the backwoods near somebody's chicken coop. That gun had a spent casing of a 30-06. But we don't know with 100% certainty that the bullet that was in that casing is the bullet in Charlie Kirk's neck, okay? So it was not ejected. So if this was some kind of patsy or setup, that bullet could have been fired, or it could have been fired somewhere else. And all we know is that there is a casing inside of that gun. And now we're getting reports that it may not be a 30-06 bullet that was found in his body.
That's the whole point. We want to follow the evidence. We want to follow that. And true enough, if you chase down all of these crazy theories, you might just come out with the exact truth. What if the young man really was a patsy? What if the bullet really was not that 30 or whatever? What if all these theories, some of this stuff can be true? We don't know. I'm following the evidence. I'm just saying people got a right to come to the conclusion that they want to come to. So we just going to follow the evidence. I'm not saying I believe any of this stuff. I don't believe in the conspiracy theories, all the goofy shit. He's still alive and blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, let's follow the evidence. That's all I'm saying.
So the likelihood that it is a 30-06 that even after smashing through his neck didn't come out the back end is very, very, very unlikely. Okay, we know from past Turning Point events that typically 5 4K HD cameras are part of the setup when they go live. On this particular day, they did not go live on their YouTube channel.
Why didn't they do that? These are questions that we're asking. People are asking.
That shouldn't make anyone suspicious. It was just a business decision.
Oh, okay.
However, what we do know is that there were at least 3 Turning Point cameras pointed right at Charlie Kirk's body. One from behind to the side, and then one in the front to his side. Now, I was told all of that footage has been turned over from Turning Point to the FBI. They no longer have that footage. They're not sharing it with anyone. They didn't make copies, and they did not allow me to see the footage. Everything has been handed over to the FBI. However, the person I spoke with confirmed this to me and said that the cameras were all filming in 4K.
Here you have it. Watch the dude as he grabs the squib off of Charlie, puts it in his pocket. Watch closely. The one guy grabs the squib, gives it to the guy with the polo. He puts it in his pocket. Now the other guy that I once said, press the remote for the squib, takes the remote, puts it in the other guy's pocket, and he takes off. So the first guy gets the squib that was on the neck. Watch closely. So, boom, shot. There's the guy with the blue, puts it in his pocket. Here's the guy with the remote, puts it in his pocket. And scene. I told you guys, the guy with the brown shirt, when he pulled up his shirt, he was pressing the remote for the squib. And there you have it.
I'm not saying any of that is true. I'm saying these are just theories that people have, right? Okay. So the text messages, some people say the text messages were fabricated. Some people claim that the exchange text messages between the alleged killer and Robinson and his partner are too polished, too on the nose, stylistically inconsistent with what the suspect would naturally say. Sounds weird to me. That is one of my main things that, wait a minute, why them text messages sound so funny? Like they're scripted, right? Just too scripted, too detailed, too narrative, right? People think it's foreign government. We don't know. So we get to Candace Owens. Candace Owens. Now, people don't like her. Maybe they don't like her. They don't know. I don't know the lady from a can of paint, right? I've only just started to get to know the lady since, Charlie Kirk. This is my first, I'm only getting to know her now. So it's not, it is what it is. So people may not like her, but she has a history. She has a history of being controversial, right? She has a history of being controversial. My understanding is she used to work with Ben Shapiro, right? Ben Shapiro is a Jewish person, right? And she used to work with that person, and something happened between those two people, and she didn't work there anymore. At whatever that the place with Ben Shapiro show, I get. Okay. And so I was like, okay, why didn't she work there anymore? What the hell happened? Why did she not work there anymore? What did she say? What was Candace's stance on Israel? Okay. What did she say? She had criticism of Israel, of their military stance in Gaza. Okay. She condemned certain Israeli operations. She questioned the U.S. funding and support for Israel. She said she didn't believe U.S. taxpayers should finance a war, including Israel. Okay. 3, comments that she made were interpreted as anti-Semitic or invoking anti-Semitic tropes. Some of her remarks drew criticism from Ben Shapiro, references to political Jews, who she claimed used their Jewish identity to avoid criticism, liking or endorsing social media contacts that used or echoed long-standing anti-Semitic truths. So she publicly had conflict with Ben Shapiro over the tone, the language, perceived crossing of the lines. So Ben, who is Jewish and a strong supporter of Israel, publicly criticized Owens, calling some of her remarks absolutely disgraceful. False sophistication, that kind of thing. There was some back and forth on Twitter, on social media, whatever, and she responded defiantly, of course. You cannot serve both God and money. And then, he kicked her to the pool. He kicked her to the pool, to the curb, right? Okay. So the key points of disagreement between those two, Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens. Okay. What counts as permissible criticism versus what is unacceptable rhetoric, according to Shapiro. Shapiro on the Daily Wire, that's it, Daily Wire, seemed to support criticism of Israeli policy, but drew the line when Owens's rhetoric seemed to be anti-Semitic in nature. So they was like, okay, we got to vamoose with you. You can't work with us no more. This is how she got fired. anti-Semitic stuff. Okay. But see, that's how it is for a lot of people. Okay. That's how it is for a lot of people. If you say anything about Israel, any criticism about Israel and their treatment of the Gaza people, you might get canceled. People throw you off the platform, don't want to talk to you, X, Y, and Z. So I don't know what she exactly said. You know, I don't even want to run through that. Let's say it's safe to say maybe she did or maybe she didn't. We don't know. But every time you met, I remember the other day, I ran the video of Gaza. The only thing, excuse me, the only thing I did was I explained how Gaza used to own a lot of land, used to own almost the whole country of Israel. And then as the time went on, after they did the 1947 split between Palestinians and Jewish, that's when they lost more and more. They lost more and more land. The Palestinian people, all the way down to the Gaza Strip, and some pockets in the Eastern Bank, in the West Bank. So you talk about that, you could be canceled. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that Candace was the friend to Charlie Kirk. She, according to her, knew her friend. And she felt, and this was one of the last theories, that something was odd about the way they were portraying Charlie. He was devout this, he was devout that, X, Y, and Z, right? But she said, it's my friend. So I know my friend had doubts about X, Y, and Z. Okay? Doubts about X, Y, and Z. So why are you guys hiding this? So Candace came out and said, hey, I got some information. Y'all trying to hide the fact that Charlie was having doubts. Okay. Charlie was having doubts. Okay. I don't know whether that's true or that's not true, but we're going to listen to her. We're going to listen. So I'm going to listen to her, right? And then we're going to see, because this was the video she released yesterday, right?
Tuesday, I got to tell you something. Twitter, or X, it hasn't really been that fun in a really long time. I think Elon Musk clearly gave it away to the...
Can you guys hear that? Can you guys hear me? Please make sure you can hear me, okay? Okay. You all please hit the like button, the share button, please and thank you. I would love to get the content out, please and thank you. Get the channel boosted. Can you please hit the like button? Certain trolls and bots will come when you speak on the evil. I didn't say anything about the evils of Israel. I haven't said anything about Israel. I don't know anything about Israel. I'm not having content about Israel. This is about what Candace thought and what Charlie thought, not what HQ thought. HQ don't have no thought whatsoever. I don't care one way or the other about Israel in that regard. I don't have any thoughts about them. I have thoughts about the Palestinian people, but I don't have thoughts about the Israeli people. So let's be clear.
Military, and we now have to suffer these military bot farms calling for war with Iran. But last night, the platform was exceptional. It was amazing. The tears that were being shed all over the place. I mean, I really picked out the best responses to me dropping the text.
But see, here's my thing. Why is she so angry? Why is this young lady so angry with the people that were around Charlie? Why was she so angry? Because the people knew, no one knew except certain people, X, Y, and Z. Let her tell it, but I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
Messages. It was hilarious. Anyway, Turning Point USA has responded to the release of the messages, so we are going to watch that.
But we got to catch you up. I'm sorry. Catching you up. Candace said a couple weeks ago, week or two ago, that she had receipts that Charlie was having second thoughts. Of course. Everybody said, oh, Candace is a liar. She's a liar. Y'all can't believe her. Candace came with the receipts. You should have known she was going to come with the receipts. Okay? Candace came. That's the thumbnail. The thumbnail says she pulled y'all's whole card. Candace pulled y'all's whole card. You thought, oh, you say I'm a liar? Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show all parts of my ass because I got the receipts. Don't be mad that she got the receipts because she got the receipts. She was friends with Charlie. So she would have an idea of what was going on. You could tell in the video, in some of the videos, some of the pictures. Her and Charlie were younger. They were younger in these pictures. So she's known him a long time. Okay. And he knows that things that he probably told her things he didn't tell other people. So, of course, she would have some information. So she had the receipts and she's showing the receipts. I can't help but she got the receipts. The girl got the receipts. She had the stuff. Let's finish. Don't be mad at Candace.
Spoiler alert, they were real, of course. And on top of that, Turning Point USA donor has published a public letter regarding me, and I was truly touched by it, and I think you will be too, so I want to share that. Welcome back to Candace.
You sound goofy, Krusty Crayons. You sound goofy as hell. There's nothing to defend. She got the receipts. If you got the receipts, I ain't got to defend shit.
My little sister called me this morning and she was like, Candace, your podcast right now is like the show Succession on HBO. You guys know this show, which is about how all of the heirs and supposed to be kind of fashioned after Rupert Murdoch's throne. All the siblings are fighting one another to see who will it be that gets this empire. That really made me chuckle. I think that should be our new show intro.
Right. Y'all see these pictures? That girl knew that girl knew him. They were friends. She knew him. And they spent time together behind the scenes. Okay? Don't write her off as no Nazi. She knew that man. Okay? And they young in these pictures too. Kofi.
Yes. Who will succeed Charlie Kirk? Who shall inherit the Turning Point throne?
No, I don't want people to dismiss this woman. This woman, she may lie on other stuff. I don't know. But she was friends with Charlie Kirk. She has the receipts of him saying X, Y, and Z. It is what it is. She can be called the Yahtzee person or whatever. She can be called whatever you want her to call her. But she got them receipts. She pulled y'all's whole card.
You know what, you guys? The best part of all of this for me is, unlike those ill-begotten heirs on the show, I have a 0% interest in Charlie's empire. I am not motivated.
I've heard of the woman, but I've never seen her content until after Charlie died. Never seen her content, heard of her, but never seen her content till after Charlie died.
Motivated by the idea of carrying on his torch. Not for a single moment did I think any person could carry on his torch. If you thought you could, you clearly did not know Charlie Kirk. Charlie was, in fact, an anomaly in the system. It happens rarely. And I don't know that I will live to see another person like him. I want you guys to know something. I want to share this with you. You can take it.
I only got on the internet 2 years ago, so I don't know half you motherfuckers. I don't know half these motherfuckers on here. I only got on it. That's why I didn't know Charlie Kirk, because my life don't revolve on this shit.
Or you can leave it, but Charlie was betrayed. I know this. I've known this really since the first second, but I rarely have vivid dreams. And I did, in fact, have a very vivid one over the weekend. In fact, the last time that I had a super vivid dream. I was pregnant. Tends to happen a lot to women when they're pregnant. But in that dream from 2023, my former producer of the show and I were standing in the control room, and she told me that she was 26 weeks pregnant. This is in the dream. And she told me exactly what month the baby was coming. I asked her in the dream, is it a boy? Is it a girl? And she said, it's a boy. I woke up and I immediately texted my producer in real life and I said, hey, you're pregnant, just so you know, it's a boy. And then she found out that she was pregnant 1 week later. She had no idea when I texted her. And it's something that we reflected on a couple of months later because she was just totally shocked looking back on it. And this is our text chain from, you can see, 2023. She said, you texted me June 16th. And I think I got pregnant June 26th. This is crazy. And it's going to be a boy. It's nuts. Wow. I said, I'm telling you, your baby visited me. It was an insanely vivid dream. He was on his way. Right. And she said, that is so bizarre. My mom also texted me that week saying that she had a dream I was pregnant. I said, I haven't had a dream that vivid since. It's been my only vivid dream this entire pregnancy. I believe people can communicate in dreams on their way in and on their way out of this world.
Right.
I similarly, like I just said, had a vivid dream this weekend, and Charlie came to me and he told me that he was betrayed. And so for me,
I don't know nickname. It's just something weird I do.
You don't have to believe that, but I do believe that. And it was the immediate sense I got, actually. And I don't know who exactly it is that betrayed him, but I also felt in the dream that it is soon going to be revealed, that it's actually inevitable that it is going to be revealed, that there is nothing and no one that is going to stop the truth from coming out, and it is going to have international consequences.
She's pushing that theory. It's a dangerous theory. This is a very dangerous theory road that she's going down. But she needs to, but the whole point is, if she gonna say it, she needs to say it out loud, because then if something happened to her, then we know where we got to go in order to find out if it's what X, Y. I ain't wishing nothing. I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying. This is wild, this whole thing.
Take that to the bank. Quote me on that. Women tend to have a stronger intuition about people, I would say. I think it was the writer, producer, Conrad Flynn, that recently...
Y'all make sure y'all hitting that like button coming in and out, please and thank you. I need the the likes, the engagement, please and thank you. This is HQ, and we would love to have your engagement, your likes, your dislike, whatever, please. And the comment section, that'd be amazing too. Please and thank you. Like button, hit the like button, please and thank you.
We went on to Tucker Carlson's show, and he discussed that phenomenon in the context of the persecution of Christ. He's talking about Pontius Pilate's wife warning him not to persecute Jesus. Take a listen to that portion of their conversation.
And if you look at Pontius Pilate, you know, he wants to set, he at some point he flips and he's like, this guy is innocent. My wife is having dreams about this.
It's 130 people in here. I need 20, 30 likes. Come on, guys. It's 20, 30 people in here. Please and thank you. We just going over the video, trying to figure out what is her theory, what's going on until he was shot. I never heard of Kirk. Yeah, there's a lot of us who never heard of Kirk, who never heard of any of these people until Charlie Kirk got shot. And I'm saying I never heard of her either. You know, there's plenty of content on them now that I look. You know, when you ain't looking at these things, you're looking at other things. You're not paying attention to this. So I'm just, catching up with everybody else on this Candace Owen person. There's 130 people in here. The likes. I need at least 20, 30 likes. Come on. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. I'd love to have some subscribers. That'd be amazing. We have content here every night. It'd be amazing. Hit the like button, please, and thank you.
This man, that's another thing that's underreported in history. Wife as soothsayer / dreamer. Yeah. I mean, your wife has many times been like, I have a bad feeling about this guy, Tucker. Don't have him on your show. And her intuition is such that even though there's no necessarily hard evidence, it's your wife's take on stuff. You don't ignore it. But that's
I have ignored it. And it's
you're like,
why do you say borrowed time, Will? What was going on?
Actually never listened to that.
No, I mean, I've been married 34 years as of Saturday, and it's like a joke in my house. You know, I told you he was bad. I don't know. He's hilarious. He seemed like a good guy to me. You know?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So you'd be the Pontius Pilate where she's like, oh, did you don't arrest this man. I had a dream.
100%.
And you're like, whatever. I'm doing my work right now.
I'm very shallow. So someone who's amusing or fun to have dinner with. You know.
I've heard of Tucker Carlson. Of course, I've heard of him. I really don't like him. Because he's a really, really big conspiracy person.
No, I just get swept away. I like that guy. You know,
he's fantastic.
Let's go.
It's actually really funny because I'm recapping conversations that I've had with Tucker where I'm like, I don't know why you trust that person at all. He's obviously a bad guy. And he's like, really, I like him. But I had a really nice dinner with him. Anyways, obviously what they're accurately describing, I should say, especially between a husband and a wife, definitely my relationship with my husband, I can say that from almost the very moment that I learned that Charlie was not going to make it, I said to George through tears that he was betrayed. And now we're all just sort of on this journey to find out by who. So I released a text message yesterday, dropped it on the world, and it caused, and this is putting it mildly, a lot of panic. As I said, the chatter on X was top tier. Emphasis on the tier because there were a lot of them being shed.
They came for her. They came for that ass yesterday. They came for that ass yesterday. Came for that ass. She lying. She dropped the text message. She did X, Y, and Z. Wait a minute. Hold on. Stay right there. Hold on. She lying. That ain't no real text messaging. Y'all can't believe her. X, Y, and Z is her text message. This was the text message she dropped yesterday. I don't know how you make it bigger or whatever, but the text message. Let's see. So she dropped the text message. And everybody couldn't stand it. She lying. She ain't telling the truth. The biggest explosion in that message. Jewish donors play into all that all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be stifled or trifled like this. Stifled like this. Leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Wow. If that ain't a direct message, if that is not a direct thing saying she got to go or he got to go, I don't know what is. But thank goodness she had the receipts. She had the receipts that said he was thinking of leaving the pro-Israel choice. Thing is, they got money out there. They got money out there paying people to be pro-Israel. Money out there.
By everyone who was discounting me. She's this, she's that, she's lying. Charlie never changed his mind. He was committed to Israel to the day he died. In fact, he almost died for Israel. That was the vibe they were putting down, and I was getting angrier and angrier and angrier. But self-control always pays off.
Shut up, Jim. You goofy as hell. You know it ain't gonna be no 2028.
There were moments on X where people were, after this text message was revealed, almost like bargaining. Like, please, this can't be real. Let me show you. They're making fake messages themselves. This is how easy it is to make a fake message. That this cannot be real. They were accusing, deluding themselves into believing whatever was necessary for them not to accept the reality that I was telling the truth. Of course, I was telling the truth. Here's just a few of my favorites. This is Village Crazy Lady, who I love.
She's showing the X. She went on X and she was getting eviscerated. She was getting told she's an idiot. She lying, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. And at this particular point, she doesn't have any confirmation from anyone, right? At this particular point, she don't have no confirmation. Nobody, she's out there, dick swinging in the wind. She just out there because she don't care. Apparently, she's one of those people that don't stand on 10 toes by herself. I admire that because that's what I'm going to do. But she was out there by herself, listening to these people go in on by her.
Mel, who was responding to an absurdity that was being presented by Ashton Forbes. Mel said, these losers are down so bad right now that they are literally using their own attack lines for defense. Ashton Forbes wrote, he's been absolutely maniacal. First off, Candace has no credibility. Second, there's a bunch of Telegram group chat scams that claim to be real people.
But my question is this: why she don't have credibility? Why do people say this woman don't have credibility? What did she do that made her not have credibility?
Well, I was briefly in touch with one Elon Musk. Oh, really? You were in touch with Elon Musk on Telegram? Third, if you discount the text messages between Tyler Robinson and his trans furry lover, you cannot take these at face value. Lastly, even if the text messages were real, they mean literally nothing related to Charlie's death. I find it scary how Candace is building a literal cult. Soon, they'll be drinking Kool-Aid in sync with, I don't even know if that says 31 Atlas, to be sent to heaven. I think that might be a cult, actually.
Right.
That's how I'm not in a cult at all. So much I don't even recognize was probably a very big cult's name. And I love that Mel replies and says, bro, if I got scammed in a Telegram group chat by Elon Musk, quote unquote, I'd take that ish to my grave. Britta, you can see she's also replying.
I just never went over there on that X. I was on the X when Twitter when it initially started. That was at the beginning. I signed up for these things like Twitter and Facebook and some other one, and I never went back. It was just one, and I wasn't fascinated by it. And then I came back 2 years ago. The texts are real, sir. The texts are real. We finna show it to you.
He was replying to Britta, no soup for Knowles, if you want to bring that right back up. She wrote, and by the way, she used to work for Seth Dillon, so this is the usual chatter, a group of people. She wrote, is Candace posting fake group chat screenshots to conveniently back up her narrative that Charlie was dropping the pro-Israel cause and inviting Candace to the TPUS stage? I'm just asking questions. All fair, we allow questions. We even allow diagnoses. We're chill. We're on the side of truth. We are so chill. Laura.
Yeah, we there. So I'm saying, why people keep saying she fake if they backing her up? That's the name of the title of the damn video. She pulled y'all's whole card. Y'all thought y'all was getting on her. She got her receipts.
Loomer, who is legally just, not allowed to own a gun because she's a literal lunatic, had the nerve to post this about me when somebody called her out. Morgan Ariel said, Laura Loomer hasn't made a single post about Candace Owens reporting on Charlie Kirk's group messages. We all know she's the first to run her mouth. And she wrote, because I don't give an F about Candace Owens and her postpartum psychotic rants. Even if those texts are real, it still does not mean that Israel killed Charlie Kirk. I never said that. Candace Owens makes content for low IQ people who don't understand how criminal investigations work. It's going to be hilarious when she is sued by TPUSA in addition to Macron's wife. Yes! Bankrupt her for telling the truth! Do it! Do it! Bankrupt her! Yeah. When you are down bad, just like Mel says, when they're really down bad, when nothing is left, you just sue. Anyways, back to how unhinged just chatter was on X, generally speaking. I laughed out loud. Everybody uses the term blitzkrieg. And the NFL football team say blitzkrieg. Yes, it relates back to Germany. It's a bombardment strategy. So that's why we use it when you're going.
I'm right there with you, Charles. I'm right there with you. Hey, Nicole, Jeff, Charles, Joe. Yes, I'm right, Julianne. I'm right there with you. This is not
going to bombard. And so I called it Blitzkrieg Week because we're just dropping a bunch of bombs. And Britta decided to take that literally. She said, Candace thinks it's cute to use Nazi terminology and make a turning point pun while she incites further harassment of TPUSA employees by implicating them in Charlie's death. It's a sick game for her. And out of nowhere, Megyn Kelly needs.
I mean, if you don't know how you can get attacked on that X, you can get attacked on that X for real. And it's just, the messages come. Messages come. Because I went on there one day, I was going to use something else and I wasn't going to use the other stuff. Went on there and I was like, all these messages and whatnot. So she's getting attacked from all these X people saying she's lying, she's this, she's that, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z.
To stop making excuses for this vile behavior. I have no idea why Megyn Kelly is being just abused. It's like these people just get drunk and beat Megyn Kelly when they get home. I don't know what is happening and why she's being dragged into anything that I say, but it's exceptional that they're now looking. There's some.
Now we can't let's be clear. She's a motherfucking grifter. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. She's half a grifter because she says a lot of things that are provocative. She does. Most of these people do say stuff that's provocateur, provocative, right? So a lot of them say controversial things to get views. This just happens to be one of the things that she wasn't lying about. I get it. You cry wolf, and then we don't believe you. But the thing is, she ain't lying about these receipts. She ain't lying about these text messages now. She's not lying now, right?
Desperate. That German words, you can't even say blitz.
Right, Charles.
Means lightning. Krieg means war.
I'll make sure y'all hit the like button, please, and thank you. Hi, Nicole. I love that name.
Last I checked, people are still allowed to speak German. And last I checked, everybody uses the terminology blitz, blitzkrieg. Washington Post certainly does when they're describing things that's happening at the White House.
Right.
But now this is how desperate they are for anything, grasping at straws. Nick Fuentes,
right,
our routine federal informant, writes this. Why did she sit on this for 4 weeks and then censor the other names? Just grasping at straws. Just grasping at straws here. And he followed that up by taking a stab at Charlie Kirk, who's dead.
Well, the whole thing is she can't. If she said that Kamala wasn't black, then she wasn't telling the truth. Because you don't get you don't. That's just like somebody coming to me and saying I'm not black when I have black ancestry, when I have black roots. Okay. You can be from Jamaica and be black. You can be from Jamaica and be an Indian and be black, have Indian blood. So my whole thing is, no, she wasn't. She always has a narrative, okay? There's always a narrative, right? And Kamala says she was black. She has black ancestry. She says she's black. But we're not going to get into that goofy shit because a lot of y'all thought Barack wasn't black. And that's some bullshit there too, so.
Charlie Kirk said he had no choice to leave the pro-Israel cause because a Jewish donor stopped giving him millions of dollars.
Hit that like button, please, and thank you. Hit that damn like button. Hit that like button. Hello, Zagu, Just Me, Root, Kyle, St. Charles.
Coincidence. He had his great epiphany about Israel after they stopped paying him to shill. Speaking of paying people to shill, it's why I didn't take.
Oh, after they stopped paying him. So they were paying. So Israel was paying Charlie Kirk to say what he was saying. Is that what she's saying? She's saying that Charlie Kirk was whoa. Hold up. Okay. We ain't finna get into that right now. We're gonna let Nick Fuentes tell us about people getting paid to do what they do. Okay. He gonna let him do that. Not right now.
1 minute or one sentence rather of him trying to eulogize Charlie Kirk seriously, because that right there is the real Nick Fuentes. The quartering jumped in. He says, a serious question. Let's assume the texts are real and that Charlie was 100% serious and not just being sarcastic, which is totally possible. What exactly does this prove? Right. Think before you reply. What does it prove other than someone close to him was fine leaking his text?
But it proves that she has the text. It proves that the text is plain as day. You all seen the text, right? So the text, it proves the text plain as day. Okay. That he was having doubts about whether he should support Israel or not. He was having doubts. No, you can't dispute what was in the text.
That's been their new talking point. How dare you leak text messages? And finally,
yes, donors. Yes. I understand the donors are. I understand the donors. Israel, but Israel is also putting money out there. $7,000 per person that will whatever positive show, program, article that a person puts out there. We got 116 people. We only got 47 likes. I would please like you guys, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Root, J. King, Just Me, Nicole. Please hit the like button, okay? We need the content. We need the generation. We need the likes. Get the likes up, the engagements up. I'm gonna start cheating y'all like Kevin Samuels did. I'm gonna start playing some weird ass fucking music until people start hitting the like button. Please hit the like button. I need at least 15, 20 more likes. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. I said please and thank you.
This is just funny, so we're going to show you this. Community notes for the win. The Misfit Patriot writes, I will give Candace.
Yes, they definitely, they admitted that they paying. Don't y'all think that people are paying? See, here's the thing. I'm bogus as hell because I was looking around to see who would pay the lefties, who would pay the Democrat. Oh, y'all want to pay me? Say something positive? I say positive shit and don't get paid no money. So, hey, I'm looking for who paying for the lefties. But ain't nobody paying for the lefties. They're paying for the righties. They're paying, Israel's paying what Israel's paying. If I was willing to go over there and then throw Palestinian people, the Gaza people under the bus, then that would be a thing. But I'm not willing to do that. So no, I'm not getting any money from Israel or anybody else.
Every single shekel Israel has paid me for my posts if she can prove those text messages are real. Update, says Community Notes. Andrew Colvett confirmed the screen grab was real. Of course it was real.
Okay, so now she gets the confirmation. They sent the text message. They sent the X message out and said the text messages that Candace released are real. Why are they real? Because the person in Turning Point is the person who gave the text messages to the police, and somehow Candace got them.
But I mean, I would have to be the dumbest person ever. First off, I'm not even inclined towards tech, but also would have to be an absolute idiot, a moron, to try to figure out how to manufacture text messages for the purpose of releasing them to then probably get sued by every person that was not in the chat. Like, I'm just like, hey, Josh Hammer received this message. That'd be so dumb. But like I said, these people were desperate for it not to be real.
I mean, this is wild. I mean, now that she got the text message, who she get the text message from? The Turning Point place that Charlie ran and started. They confirmed that she has the right text messages, that the text messages are true. So if the text messages are true, Charlie was having doubts about supporting Israel. He was having doubts about staying and being Israel, staying Jewish or whatever.
Because they've been lying so hard about everything. They've just been lying, and they have some egg on their face now. And reality hit them pretty quickly this morning when Andrew Colvett, Turning Point's spokesperson, confirmed that the messages were in fact real. He did this on the Charlie Kirk show. And actually, I don't think it's dramatic to state that this may be the first respectable measure taken by Turning Point USA executives since the passing of Charlie Kirk, like the first respectable response. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I thought that was, I will compliment that. Just the action of Andrew Colvett addressing it head on instantly was good. So let's hear Andrew Colvett in his own words.
So y'all hit the like button, please and thank you. So the person that is running, I don't know whether he's running Turning Point or he's just one of the people that are helping to run it, but he is now putting out, or he did put out a presser when he was on the Charlie Kirk show, and he said all of the text messages that Candace released are true. Those are true. He's the one who gave the text messages to the police, to the FBI, and he knows what he released, and he didn't think that anybody would get a hold of those messages, and Candace got a hold of them, and she released them. So the messages that Candace released yesterday were true. So people can just flat out forget calling her a liar. She's not a liar.
But I want to take the start of this show to address some of the things that have been going around on public, namely about a group text chain that has been made known and released by Candace Owens. And I just want to address it head on because, that was a screen grab that I had shared with people. So it is authentic. And I want to go into it because I actually am really excited that the truth is out there. I first want to say the reason I didn't share that screen grab publicly is because it was a private a private exchange, and I felt like it didn't necessarily comport with things that were already public. I wanted to not betray my friend's trust in that way. But I did share it with some people in government because it happened really quick. It was, it took 33 hours for authorities to.
Now, you notice that he said, I shared it with people in government. He didn't say, I shared it with the police. He didn't say he shared it with the FBI. He didn't say none of that. He said he shared it with somebody in the government. Now, why would he say just the government? Because he had no intention of releasing that to the public, but he released it to somebody in the government. Why did you do that? Okay.
Get their.
Oh, I don't give a fuck why she invested in Charlie Kirk. I don't know. I am just learning about these people right now, Project Leroy. I have no idea the history of these people. I really don't give a fuck one way or the other. It's just an interesting story. She could be screwing Charlie Kirk for all whoever. I don't know.
Their suspect. And in those first moments, we wanted no stone unturned. We wanted to leave nothing unturned. So I shared it with a few people. Don't know where it went from there.
He shared it with a few people. You see what he better not come out of his damn mouth and say, well, he feel like he's morally superior than Candace. Because he didn't share it with no police authority or no law enforcement. He didn't say that. He shared it with people in the government. So he better not be on here talking about, oh, I'm more morally superior than Candace. Because Candace didn't apparently feel like she could keep these to herself. They were just lying about Charlie's name. Charlie was pro-Israel. He didn't want to change nothing, X, Y, and Z. And maybe he was, we don't know. But she had proof otherwise.
Apparently. But here we are. So one of the reasons, Blake, that I'm glad to have this now public, it was not mine to share publicly, but one of the criticisms we've been.
Wait, you notice he said it was not mine to share publicly. If it wasn't yours to share publicly, why did you share it with a couple people in the government? If it wasn't yours to share publicly, why did you share it with a couple people in the government? And apparently a couple people in the government shared it with Candace Owens. So if you didn't want to share it publicly, you shouldn't have said shit. You shouldn't have told nobody. You shouldn't have gave the text messages to nobody. But you didn't give a damn one way or the other. You ain't no better than Candace. You wanted to start some shit when you released them to whoever you did in the government.
And we've received is that we don't care. We're not investigating every lead. We're not looking under every stone. And that somehow we're just like, sweeping things under the rug. And when I say that we want justice for Charlie more than anybody else, I really mean it, and no stone unturned. I mean, I don't know if you want to chime in on that part alone, but I have more to say.
Yeah, so it has been so frustrating to have people blow up about this.
Yeah.
And I've certainly stated publicly, the reason I haven't weighed in on things is I am an eyewitness to events. And
of course he was wrong for that. He was definitely wrong for that. He ain't got no moral high ground, Zagu. Hey, Sarah. Love that name. Desi. He doesn't have any moral ground to stand on, okay? Nobody does. None of these people do, okay? Most of them, they grifters, but they ain't mean grifters, but they grifters nonetheless.
they've said, don't comment on things because anything you say can mess that up. I don't want to mess up any trial for the person who did this.
That's 1,000% right. And I will say I wasn't an eyewitness. I was not there. I flew to Utah immediately to be with the family and the team, but I was not an eyewitness. So
I understand that the FBI is a governmental agency. I get that, 480. But why didn't he just say I shared it with local law enforcement? Why didn't he say that? That would have made him sound even more legitimate, even better. He said, I didn't think it was going to go any further with the people. I shared it with several people in government, which meant it wasn't the law. It wasn't just the goddamn FBI, okay? It was other people, because apparently it couldn't have been the FBI because they shared it with Candace.
there's that. But I am aware that in my role as spokesman for Turning Point USA, which is another hat I wear, that things I say, I'm cognizant of the fact that things I say could negatively impact an ongoing investigation. All right. But I will weigh in specifically on this issue of Israel, because I know there's a lot of fascination. And I just want to say that, you know, we have to let free speech be our North Star here. Okay. Charlie was adamantly free speech. And I am not personally going to impugn anybody's character who is asking questions and looking for answers. All right. And I will say that that text chain is consistent with public frustrations that he voiced many times. And I know, Blake, you were in the trenches on a lot of this stuff because we were workshopping how we were going to do the tour and what he's going to get asked about Israel, what was he going to say. And this is consistent with things that he told his friends, people that are,
See, what was consistent was Charlie, how do I say it? If you know about the situation in Gaza and you know how the circumstances are what they are, then, and you call yourself a Christian, you call yourself a Christian, and you know what's going on in Gaza. That's all I'm going to say. So Charlie started to doubt his humanity with the support, knowing that these things were going on, and he was supporting apparently the person that was doing the oppression. These are things that people you have to take this into account morally, your moral compass as to how you feel about these things. Okay, Cody, you hit my like button or hit my hate button. Shut the fuck up. That's all I can say. Shut the fuck up. The whole point is you on this planet and so am I, bitch made motherfucker. So if you on this planet and you got a criticism or you got a view of it, so would I have a view of it, dumb motherfucker. So stop telling me to do what the fuck I don't need to do because you ain't my fucking boss. Shut the fuck up and go eat a dick.
In the wider movement about his wrestle that he was going. And so I just want to say, like, what is the truth about the way Charlie felt about Israel? Well, it's complicated and it's nuanced, and it was a wrestle that was going on for months, and it's probably somewhere between the Bibi letter and the text.
So what do we think? Okay, obviously, you can tell he's anxious. You can tell he's nervous speaking about this. I am sure it was positively frantic at Turning Point USA yesterday. I am sure he had very little sleep, and like I say, never the fun thing to be the spokesperson and also to be involved in.
I'm not saying I am a Candace fan. I'm not a fan of nobody. I'm saying on this particular instance, she was telling the truth. So she has the receipts. You can't be mad that she got the receipts. Okay. But she got those. Okay. On this particular incident, she might have lied about other stuff, but she got the receipts here.
In the story, I can tell you right off the bat, he is telling the truth. He was not the person who shared that message with me. He also should know.
480 Chavo, don't be putting your spin on it. That text message was direct and clear. Don't be putting your spin on it.
That he was not the only person who sent that message and sent messages around. So there are a lot circulating, some videos that are circulating, and he's being honest about that portion. I personally, as someone who knows Andrew Kolbat, I want to express how I feel. I hold it against him, actually, that he didn't share it with me. He knew. I cried on the phone with Andrew. He knew how I was feeling. And then I went under a very, well, you could say a blitzkrieg, right? A heavy bombardment from people who he knows hated Charlie, who tried to stop Charlie, people who had no issues showing up to his memorial. I mean, really gross stuff, who were attacking me. And he could have at least provided some cover. Now, I'm not saying that I need help, but sometimes it's nice to offer somebody a lifeboat when they're being attacked.
Say we yo now. What terrorist? What you talking about? You know, what terrorist? I don't understand what's going on. Y'all hit that like button. I need at least 10, 15 more likes. We got 100 people in here. Give me some likes, 10 or 15. I said thank you and please several times. Thank you and please several times. Yes, Anthony. Yeah, you crazy.
We're telling the truth, right? So I do want to say that. Also, I'm glad that Andrew responded correctly, because I was going to say this when Blake's like, well, you know, the investigation's ongoing. That text message has nothing to do with an investigation whatsoever. It has to do with the broader question of people feeling that Charlie's legacy is intentionally being hijacked.
Anthony, I thought I was the only one that looked at her like something is like the eyes. I thought I was the only one.
By Israel. I never stated that Israel killed Charlie. Anybody that's been watching this investigative series, we've come up, I mean, there hasn't even been an Israeli name that has popped up in this investigation. There's only been one Jewish person, I think, that's popped up thus far in this investigation, which is George Zinn, Decoy Boy. So they're just saying that. They're just saying that. I just wanted to say that he was under a tremendous amount of pressure. Now, regarding the other things that are circulating that have not been publicized yet, and people should know that there is an underground.
Now, she ain't walking nothing back, Queen Sation. She ain't walking nothing back. She produced the text messages. She produced the text messages that said that said in the text message that said that Charlie had to rethink his position on Israel. That's what the text message said. He had to rethink his position on Israel. Candace got angry in the news when people kept coming out saying, oh, he pro-Israel, he loved Israel, he didn't have no question about Israel. And she said, oh no. She was like, oh no, wait a minute, hold up. Y'all need to tell the truth. Kirk was having second thoughts, third thoughts, fourth thought. He was having different thoughts about Israel. Okay. So she ain't walked it back. She produced the text messages that said Charlie was having his doubts. Okay, so ain't no walking back. You know damn well Candace ain't walking nothing back. Y'all hit the like button, please and thank you, please and thank you. I said please and thank you 3-4 times. Please and thank you. I need about 10, 15 more likes. Please and thank you, please and thank you. Come on, y'all hit the like button coming in the door.
Movement of truth tellers in this moment. Okay, there's an underground movement of knights all around the world, from mom sleuths to government employees, like he said, to personal assistants, to Turning Point USA donors who are working together to bring justice to Charlie, because we don't like the way this feels. We just don't like the way it feels. The vibes are off. I will respect, even though obviously that statement was prepared, I will respect the fact that Andrew says what Charlie would have said. And for the first time, I feel that's been expressed, that we have to let free speech be our North Star.
Right.
And I'm not so sure that some of the people that are donating to Turning Point USA believe that.
Yo now. What if I had the proof, if I had the proof that Charlie was an alien and everybody kept saying he was human, I would want to release the text messages that said he was an alien. This is all she's doing. All she's saying is 4 days before Charlie was murked, he wrote that he was having doubts about supporting Israel. That's all she released. She had the text messages, which she can't doctor them. The guy just now who runs Turning Point just said those text messages are correct. So she's not ashamed. She shouldn't be ashamed of herself for anything. She's speaking the truth. Okay. Just because you don't like the person don't mean they're not speaking the truth. Ain't that what a lot of y'all been saying about what Charlie Kirk was saying? Okay. Take your medicine, goddammit. Hit that like button. Hit the like button. Super chat. Do all those good things. Share the stream. All those things. Like, hate, share the stream. Thank you.
In fact, I'm certain some of them don't believe that. Obviously, we wouldn't have that text message if they all believed that. And that is what I think has been so frustrating, is that it seems as
Elaborate, yo, now. Elaborate, because I have no idea what you're talking
as
about.
though the executives would rather, and I'm now referring to Tyler Boyer, impugn the character of the people who are doing exactly what Charlie Kirk would have done.
So they kind of knew what was coming down the pike, Osmos. So they knew what was coming down the pike already.
So please, Andrew, make sure that Tyler Boyer and Alex Clark get the internal memo about free speech. I want to say one more thing rather explosively. 3 people told me off record, 2 people who have this in a written communication from Charlie, one who is a Turning Point USA donor, and I would say very much one of the white knights in this. The very day before Charlie Kirk died, he expressed that he thought he was going to be killed. He told these people, I think they're going to kill me. Okay. He did not express that to me. So I am telling you this based off the testimony of 3 people. And I am saying this because I hope that these people who I think are good will be inspired to come forward with that. Now, again, those conversations I had were off record. I honor that. If I say it's off record, it stays off record. But I'm hoping that watching what I am doing and feeling the energy that is rising across the world for people who want to know what the heck happened on 9/10, that, you know, they will be brave.
Of course they are, Joe King. Of course they are. We all are. I don't know Charlie enough to care one way or the other. They are friends with Charlie. You need to be talking to them. They're friends with Charlie. I don't know Charlie from a can of paint. So however it goes for me, it goes for me. She's his friend. But that don't mean 2 things can't be true at the same time. She can be milking it for money, but she can also be telling the truth about her friend. Okay? So let's get that straight. Don't try to shame her. She's coming out with what she needs to come out with. People need to know these things.
And they will say, yeah, Charlie did the day before he died think that he was going to be killed, and maybe tell us, who is they? Well, for once and for all, who is they? Who is the they that he thought were going to kill him? Now, to give the obvious answer to federal informant Nick Fuentes' question, the reason that I waited to
That don't make sense, yo, now. That don't make sense. Come on now. You got to think bigger than that. This is a big ugly world out here. Just cause you talk about something now, there's no reason for you to have loyalty when people are lying on your friend's name. Okay.
reveal the text messages is because I'm not a child. Okay. Like I said, I have a lot more. I'm not an idiot, and I have self-control, and I understand that time is always going to be on the side of truth. Time is on the side of truth. Liars know that that's the reality. Mm-hmm. Liars know that they have to speak quickly, that they have to speak repeatedly.
Right.
And I wanted the world to truly understand just exactly what it is that we are up against. Okay. People that I deem to be mentally and spiritually evil. Okay. Evil in the true essence of the word evil. People who knowingly lied, instantly lied, repeatedly lied, and continued to do so without a trace of shame. Okay? Without a trace of shame. I mean that, right? I really do mean it when I say that you have to be someone that is, or maybe rather someone that is possessed by something that is less than human, subhuman, to do that. There's no human.
My whole thing is, if her and Charlie was such good friends, why wasn't she good friends with the wife? Why wasn't her and the wife really good friends? Or were they good friends? If you're good friends with a man, wouldn't you know the wife? Wouldn't you know somewhat about the wife? Wouldn't you want to have gotten to know the wife? I mean, maybe they were just co-workers or some shit like that, but I thought maybe that she would know the wife and she could. Why didn't she go to the funeral? I still don't understand why she never went to the funeral. If he was such a good friend of yours, why didn't you go to the funeral? If y'all was that cool and X, Y, and Z, why y'all didn't go to the funeral? Why you didn't go to his funeral? I'm assuming you didn't go to his funeral, but if you did, I don't know. It's why.
Humanity in you. That is why I named Josh Hammer. I believe he is a deeply disturbed man. Think about that. Now that you have those messages, okay? Let's put this in the context. Just a few hours before I dropped that text chain, Josh Hammer was concerning himself with what he's been doing since Charlie caught the bullet in his neck. he has been spreading lies, saying that Charlie never flinched on Israel, right? Charlie never flinched. Oh my God, these people like Geddes, they're lying. 48 hours before Josh Hammer was on that text thread. And that did not stop him from keeping up the propagandist effort when he went on a show yesterday before I dropped the messages and said this.
Charlie was a close friend of mine, as you know. We actually spoke literally the night before his tragic and untimely death. I was on a small Zoom call with him and a couple others. We were literally talking through this topic. I was giving Charlie advice for how to message on this issue on his forthcoming campus tour. You know, he kind of jokingly mentioned to me, he was like, Josh, I'm going to mention your book, Israel and Civilization, and it's so good. And that was literally our last conversation. It's just so tragic. This letter that he wrote to the Prime Minister, Chris, I read back in June or July or so. And there were so many people in the aftermath of his horrific assassination, Candace Owens, folks like that, who were saying that, oh, Charlie was turning on Israel. He was ready to sell them out and renounce his life's work of sincere and genuine friendship with the Jewish.
Okay, so this dude that's talking was on the email. And he saw the email, saw the text from Charlie, and Charlie was saying he had to rethink his position with Israel. He was on the text. She's saying he was out here lying right after Charlie died. Candace is saying this guy is lying. No, he's lying. No, Charlie had a turning around about Israel.
People in the Jewish state. But this letter that he wrote to Bibi Netanyahu, Chris, literally begins. The first sentence of the letter is, I'm paraphrasing here, but it's a close paraphrase. As a Christian, one of my greatest joys in life is making friendships with the Jewish people and defending the state of Israel. That's literally the opening sentence of this letter.
Right.
Filth. Okay? Absolute filth. I don't understand it. I can't comprehend it. Whatever that is that lives in him does not live in me. There's no truth in him. Obviously, there's no truth in Josh Hammer. He could have said, well, Charlie was going through 48 hours earlier. Yeah, he refused to do that. And in fact, I'm quite alarmed with what I know that there are 3 people who said that Charlie communicated 24 hours before he died that he thought they were going to kill him. Now I find it rather alarming that Josh Hammer is similarly saying, oh, the night before. So you spoke to him the night before. Did he communicate that to you, Josh Hammer? Did he? I'm interested. I know we won't get answers from you, but let me promise you.
Yeah, Brian, I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. Why wasn't she able to go to the funeral and speak? Even attend she didn't attend the funeral, or she did? What the hell was going on? She's such a good friend of his. What the hell was going on?
That if I get a text message to the effect that you were somehow involved in him feeling anxiety the day before, if you did something that gave him anxiety in that way, I will release it instantly. There will be no place that you can hide. Anyways, I want you guys to know that I was feeling so inspired by Josh Hammer's utter lack of human decency that I went ahead this week and sent around a life insurance policy of sorts, a package rather, to people that I trust, a package filled with text messages, emails, private communications, video.
Hold on, Melinda. Hi, Melinda. How she didn't? Them was her people. Them was the people that she was aligned with. The view, she aligned with their views. She aligned with all of the things they had to say. How the hell is it she didn't get along with none of these people? Y'all hit the like button coming in and out, please and thank you. I need 10 more likes, 10, 15 more likes, please and thank you. So, but that was shit. Her friendship for Charlie should have overrode. See, that's your love for that man should have overrode your hate for these other people. That's the way you should have looked at it. When you got to do something you don't want to do, your love for whatever should outweigh the hate for the other thing. And that's all I'm going to say about that. She should have been at the funeral. She was his friend. Should have been at his funeral. Now she all outraged and whatnot. Yeah, it was Trump rally. Yeah, it was that. St. Charles, it was that. Y'all hit the like button, please, and thank you. New email, Black Wolf. Melinda, please hit the email. Please hit the like button, please, and thank you. I need 10 more likes, 10, 15 more likes, please, and thank you.
Videos and private legal documents. So that if anything happens to me, you guys will know exactly who it is that has been making my life a living hell over the past couple of years. People that are trying to bankrupt me, trying to bankrupt me and my family, that are threatening us, to sue us. Everything that Kanye said was so real. Okay. I'm now at that point where you look back and you go, man, Kanye was right. He was really saying something about what it takes to leave, to fight for custody of your own soul. Just leave me alone. Let me say what I believe and you say what you believe. Fight fair. Why do you always have to make this threat to bankrupt people? And I want you to know that those people, if anything happens to me, they have my explicit permission to release it all, detonate it all, expose all of these people in politics and in the movement who behave like this behind the scenes. It's necessary.
Right.
And I highly recommend every single person that is out there that has a platform and is going through things and is scared, do the same. Send everything around to about 8 people that you trust. And I mean, I've ranged it. I sent it to journalists, text messages and screenshots to people ranging from Max Blumenthal to Andrew Tate.
Okay.
They won't know where it's coming from. It will be everywhere. I want to remind you guys in the wake of all of this that it is so important to keep trusting our guts. We have been proven right so many times in the recent past, right? Whether we're speaking about COVID, people that had to actually take a stance before people were then suddenly government, admits, yeah, we were lying about this, we were lying about that. We feel it all right now. The feds are lying. That is beyond obvious, which is why I was very happy to hear former Navy SEAL Rob O'Neill.
You wild, Ghost Elite. You wild. Only the criminal and mentally ill would come into a liberal forum and say some dumb shit like that. Okay? Calm the fuck down. We ain't talking about nothing political. We're talking about this conspiracy thing.
Neil explained this plainly when he went on Piers Morgan's show the other day. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Me, I mean, it was off it right from the beginning for me. Do we not guard rooftops anymore? There's been assassination attempts all over the world. Right. Why aren't we looking at rooftops? And then when I was sent the video with this at the same message where they said Charlie Kirk was just shot. When I watched that horrific video, he was obviously dead before he hit the ground. But the questions immediately started to come to me. That was not an entry wound that we saw. We saw an exit wound. So where'd that bullet come from? You don't bleed like, and I've shot guys closer than the camera was. And an entry wound doesn't look like that. An exit wound does. Why did his shirt move the way it did? When I've shot people, their shirts didn't move like that. And then the initial reaction was, well, he was obviously wearing body armor and it was deflection. 1, no, he wasn't wearing body armor. And 2, it doesn't deflect like that off of body armor. Why was his shirt moving from right to left? Why were people being interviewed saying, they came from my left to right, from his right to left, immediately shut down? And then did they tear the crime scene down immediately? Just right off the bat, from seeing it, knowing he was dead, saying a lot of this is bad, not even getting into the...
So he was dead before he hit the ground. Is that what... okay. Ugh.
Yeah. The soliloquy of text messages that 22-year-olds don't send their trans lover. So immediately it's just...
He said those are not text messages that a 22-year-old sends this trans lover. We don't believe that either. So
the official story sounds like it needs to be investigated, but now the whole crime scene is gone. They paved over it. Nothing to see here.
Right.
You just have to laugh. The soliloquy of the text messages that 22-year-olds do not send their lovers. Yes, that's kind of the main point, guys. We have been working off a lot of tips, and so much more is going to be exposed, and we're going to get into that more tomorrow. I do want to give you a quick update on Lance Twiggs. And like I said, we know that the feds are lying to us. The question is, why are the feds lying to us? The answer is always the same. The feds only lie to cover their own tracks. They are protecting themselves and their bosses. Who are their bosses?
Okay.
Who is they? Anyways, take a little bit of a break here because I want to read some sponsors. First and foremost, Riverbend Ranch. I'll tell you guys about.
But we're not going to do that. Okay. Y'all hit the like button. Here's the like button, please, and thank you, right? Now, here's the thing. We don't know what happened to this young man. We don't know. We can only surmise, right? We don't know. But we do know that foreign countries give people dirt naps all the time. Charlie was a big enough name out there, big enough face out there, that they were paying him $2 million. I heard $2 million. $2 million to talk for them, give him a platform to push positive propaganda about Israel. $2 million. Now, you've been pushing the $2 million to me, asking me to say good things about your business. All of a sudden, I get a different thought. Maybe I don't want to push your message. Maybe I'm rethinking your message, because he said that he was rethinking the message on his show. At least I'm assured of that through Osmos, God, who's in the chat. He said that Charlie said he was rethinking his position of Israel on his show. So they knew before 48 hours. They knew before these text messages came out that he was having doubts about Israel. So my thing is this: would it be enough? And check this out. Why did that Netanyahu person get on TV the day after or a day after Charlie Kirk's murder? Why did he get on TV denying everything? We love Charlie. Charlie loved Israel. Charlie X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. The next day that Netanyahu was on TV, on all, I think Fox News, whatever he was on, Charlie loved it. Charlie sent me a message. The message sounded crazy. The message, it sounded crazy. Like Charlie, it sounded crazy. Like, damn, why you grappling like that, bro? What the hell? You got to prove to them that that you gonna say the right thing? It's wild to me. I'm not saying that these theories are correct or anything else. What I am saying is they should be investigated further. And why is Kash Patel investigating more conspiracy theory? Why? They investigating more conspiracy theory. But here is, we're gonna hear from Nick Fuentes. That's enough of Candace. We done heard enough from Candace. We know what Candace done did. Candace done knocked the can of worms open. So we're gonna listen to Nick Fuentes, because Nick is saying why, or influencers, or he's gonna explain how Israel controls American media influencers, people like Charlie Kirk. Let him speak.
Not super familiar with it. I've seen some of their stuff before, but it's an exclusive from them. And they are reporting on some leaked emails that were apparently obtained by hackers, allegedly.
Yeah, he was on TV quick as hell, denying anything to do with Charlie's. Why would you need to get on TV and deny that you had anything to do with Charlie, his death? Deny anything about that. What do you mean this is a lie? Dude, Black Wolf, get your ass on the internet and start looking this shit up and stop telling me I'm lying. Dude, stop it. Start doing some research instead of running your mouth.
From Iran. And these are a set of email correspondences between Larry Ellison, the founder and CEO of Oracle, the Silicon Valley data hosting tech giant.
Nick probably don't have nothing to do with it. This is bigger than Nick. Nick trying to get himself the fuck up. He trying to get his ass the fuck out of here. He don't want his name on nothing. Nick is trying to soften his position. Nick is trying to soften his position. Okay? He don't want people looking at him crazy, right? So if you've listened to Nick Fuentes the past couple of days, couple of weeks, he been softening his position a little bit, okay? Because he know that he was against Israel too, right? Or something to that effect. I ain't sure. We ain't going to get into Nick yet. I ain't doing that. Nick is just going to explain the media and how these people be getting played. HQ, we know you be lying. We just gonna hear Nick out about how these media people, YouTube people, TikTok people, they be getting paid from to say what they saying. Okay, just listen.
And the then...
No, I don't. I don't have no idea what the fuck I'm saying, Josh, and I have no fucking idea. No clue.
Senator from Florida, Marco Rubio, who is running for president in 2015. And before we get into this story, we'll just give you a little recap why this is significant. The biggest story of the past couple weeks, and this has been in the works for a long time, of course, is that Israel is losing this information war on the internet.
They're losing the information war, so we gotta listen up. I don't know what I'm talking about, Josh. I'm just talking out that my ass. Anyway, y'all hit the like button, hit the hate button, do whatever. She stayed out of the way. That's it. Just hit the like button. I need about 10, 15 more likes, please and thank you. I said please and thank you every time I asked to get a like or a hate, whichever one you want. Share the stream, please and thank you.
And everyone knows that. And everywhere you look, this is being talked about.
Right.
This is all over the news everywhere.
Right.
And it's on everybody's lips. Everybody's talking about how Israel has lost the world. They are diplomatically isolated. They're losing standing with even their allies in the Middle East. They're losing standing with all of Europe.
And you know why? Y'all know why, right? You know why they losing standing. Because all of us saw Israel attack Iran. All of us saw that. We saw that. So let's be clear. And people have shown pictures of the people from Gaza. So, hey, it's not our fault that this been getting you. It's not our fault. Y'all know what's going on in Gaza. If you've been paying attention, you know what's going on in Gaza, X, Y, and Z. So that's all I'm going to say.
They have lost the support of the American public, of the left completely, increasingly of the right, and all of the young people across the board do not care about Israel.
Because you people are smart. Because the young people get it. You either good, you either corrupt or you're not. You either doing these things to Israel or you're not. We ain't steadfastly just standing behind people who do dirty shit. That's what the young people saying. We ain't standing behind y'all just because we supposed to. We supposed to be doing the right thing. Okay? So I hope y'all understand what I'm saying without me having to say it.
But you know what? The American people have no say in their foreign policy, especially since the United States. It's a broke. They're in a, from that. See, we have to see in that the rest of the
Excuse me.
That's why they're politically be curious.
America First movement, the restrainer, isolationist foreign policy, Charlie Kirk's death and his final letter to Benjamin Netanyahu. And it seems that there is an aggressive counter that is currently being pursued by Israel. And how is Israel addressing the problem? They're taking more control over the media.
Right.
It's a stereotype that Jews run the media, and they use the media to suppress criticism of Israel, to suppress criticism of Jews, to enforce Jewish atrocity propaganda, to reinforce values that are good for Jews as a group.
The ironic thing is, they're not even trying to covertly do this. They're overt. It's conspicuous. Look at the meeting between the American, Zionist Jews with Benjamin Netanyahu in New York following the UN General Assembly meeting.
Right.
They have a video where they're literally talking about how they're going to curate the social media algorithms, how they're going to keep Christian Zionists, evangelicals in their back pocket supporting Israel, what to do if they fall. They're calling the right, the woke Reich. It's been Benjamin Netanyahu coined it. So they're not even there, and then now they're buying all these social media platforms and news publications. So they used to say it's an anti-Semitic trope that Jews run the media, control the media, but now what are they doing? They're trying to have a monopoly of it, and they're speaking about it overtly. So it's unbelievable the times we're living in.
Everybody knows that, and that's a stereotype because it's true, and it always has been. They have always been powerful in Hollywood. They have always been powerful in media, at least in living memory and recent memory. And what is their solution to this problem? that Americans increasingly don't like or care about Israel, and for good reason. It is to increase their market share. It is to expand their control over American media, the creation of it, the distribution of it, to suppress these opinions and speech that they don't like with censorship, by flooding the zone with propaganda. They're hiring lobbyists and public relations firms, and you name it. They're flooding the zone with propaganda, suppressing the things they don't like to try to regain control over the narrative and of people's minds.
Right.
And one of the figures that is leading the charge on this is Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison is one of the richest men in the world, net worth that is in the hundreds of billions of dollars. He owns the Silicon Valley big tech company Oracle, which does data hosting for all of the biggest companies, and they're one of the biggest providers of that service.
Right.
Larry Ellison is a Jew. He's a secular Jew. He is a Jew that does not believe in religious Judaism. He's only Jewish ethnically. He was given up as a foster child. I believe he was raised by relatives, actually. He was adopted by a Jewish family in the south side of Chicago and did not have any Jewish religious beliefs and did not meet his birth mother until he was in his middle age. And yet his Jewish identity is incredibly powerful for him regardless. He's extremely pro-Israel. He's given tens of millions of dollars to the IDF, and he's a personal friend of Benjamin Netanyahu. As far as we know, this is the extent of their relationship.
If you guys want to know, it's kind of ironic. It's actually kind of funny. The people who are so, well, if we look at it, the people who wanted a state of Israel, a modern nation state of Israel, that we would call this the Zionist movement in the early 20th century, even dating back to the late 19th century, they're all secular Jews. The religious Jews, the rabbis, opposed this. They thought astutely that it would create more anti-Semitism because then countries and citizens of those countries would say that the Jews have dual loyalty and that they're really allied to Israel, not their homeland, in whatever state it is in the diaspora. And other ultra-Orthodox Jews, such as the Hasidic sect, believe that the exile from that landmass of Palestine was divinely ordained based on their disobedience from God and their breaking of the covenant. They believe that during the Battle of Armageddon, during the end times, that's when God will send the Messiah and bring them back to that landmass of Israel. All the Jews will be relocated there from the four corners of the earth. Now, I completely disagree with that theology and that eschatology. I'm a Catholic, so unbeknownst to them, Jesus Christ actually is their Messiah. But that's what they think. So Zionism is a secular political ideology. It's almost entirely secular. Of course, now some religious Jews do support it, ironically, but when it was being created, 1880s, 1890s, 1900s, 1910s, when the idea was being promulgated, it was a secular idea.
We don't know. We just entertaining the theory. We just entertaining the theory. That's all.
Larry Ellison offered Benjamin Netanyahu a position on the board of his company. Larry Ellison invited the Netanyahu family to vacation on his private island in Hawaii, where he personally hosted them. Larry Ellison tried to help Netanyahu out of a couple of legal and political problems. Netanyahu asked Ellison if he could buy a rival media publication in Israel that was criticizing Netanyahu. Netanyahu asked Ellison to intervene on his behalf to secure high-quality legal representation. Larry Ellison called up the Hollywood producer Arnon Milchan and asked him to fire his attorney, who's an Israeli Jew, so that Netanyahu could hire him. So these guys are like this. Larry Ellison is being questioned in Israel in connection with Netanyahu's many corruption cases because they have such a close working relationship. So Ellison is a Jew. He's a secular Jew, but he's deeply in love with Israel and has a very close personal relationship and professional relationship with Israel's prime minister.
He's a secular Jew. He doesn't believe in any of this religious nonsense. It's all superstitious, but God still gave that land to him and his ancestors, right? It was still divinely ordained, right? Some supernatural deity, right? Never ceases to amaze me, the imbecility of some of these people.
And he is one of the most powerful men in the world. He's not only one of the richest men in the world, but he owns one of the most important companies in the world. Understand, not all companies are created equal. He doesn't just have a massive personal fortune, it's in tech. And in particular, he is involved in the data. Everybody's data. Oracle is one of the biggest companies that hosts data. So this has national security implications about privacy and surveillance, implications about national defense.
His name is Iron Descent.
And he's a loyalist to Israel's prime minister.
Tehillim.
Now, in connection with Israel's problem that everyone's falling out of love with them, and their counter to this, which is to increase their market share over the media,
right.
Larry Ellison is flexing his political might with his money, as well as using his money too, to get the government to facilitate his acquisition of social media and conventional media companies. So, for example, the government banned TikTok. They said TikTok has all these national security problems and too much anti-Semitism, so China has to sell it to America. That's an act of government. The government intervened, Congress passed a law, and the president signed it, banning TikTok unless they sold it. Under the Trump administration, Trump facilitated the sale of TikTok with China directly as part of a broader trade deal. And the trade deal is a comprehensive deal. It has to do with Taiwan. It has to do with soybeans. It has to do with Silicon Valley companies. It has to do with wafers and chips and all these different things. And as part of this bilateral comprehensive trade agreement and pursuant to an act of Congress, Trump is directly intervening to force China to sell their U.S. TikTok business to an American consortium. And Trump is giving that business to Larry Ellison. A newly created entity is taking a 45% stake in TikTok's U.S. business, and Larry Ellison is taking a major role in that. He's going to own a significant stake in that company, and he's going to take a major role in securing TikTok. So consider, Israel's got this problem. Netanyahu is a close friend of Ellison. Ellison is a problem solver for Netanyahu. Ellison is one of these American Jewish oligarchs that works for Netanyahu, like many others. Netanyahu has a problem in Israel. He picks up the phone and he calls the loyal American Jewish billionaire Larry Ellison. And by the way, why is this dynamic so important? America's the biggest and most powerful country in the world. You can't amass a $300 billion fortune in Israel because Israel's economy is negligible, because their population is negligible. Right. Israel doesn't have institutions like we have. They don't have companies, universities. They don't have a market like we have. They don't have capital like we have.
Israel is the size of New Jersey, yet they don't even have the gross domestic product, the GDP of New Jersey. I don't even know if they're 1% of the total world population. And diplomatically, they are completely isolated. We are their only ally. Well, it's a convenient ally. It's the global hegemon, although...
So if the United States is their only ally, they can't afford to lose. They couldn't afford to lose Charlie Kirk, seeing as how you all said Charlie Kirk was so influential. They couldn't afford to lose Charlie as a spokesperson for Israel. Seeing as how that we were their only ally.
It's not a unipolar world anymore. It's a multipolar world now with, BRICS, Brazil,
right.
Russia, India, China, South Africa, China, India, and Russia. They caught up. right? They got over the previous wails with communism because as an economic ideology it fails, and now the largest almost the legal slave wage industry. The population is so small. Them he had to gain.
All right.
An American Jew is empowered in America, becoming one of the most powerful individuals on the planet, which you could not do in Israel, and then serves at the pleasure of Israel's government. You see? And he has power not just in the world, but also in America. His citizenship is extremely valuable. His ability to build an American company is what made him so rich. And he uses his citizenship, his ability to interface in the political process in America, his ability to tap into the American market and capital markets and other things to create this fortune to then serve Israel. Israel has this problem. Netanyahu picks up the phone. Ellison answers. Ellison uses his connections through the Republican Party in American government to gain control over TikTok. And that's how it.
See, this shit is connected. This is wild. Y'all don't even know. Y'all hit the like button. In and out the door, please. Thank you. There's new content. We just doing the thing. We just exploring. We ain't got no political leanings. We just exploring what's going on. Please hit the like button in and out. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Please. I need about 10, 15 more likes. Please and thank you all. Thank you. Alexander, Julianne, Death, Osmos, Diane, Julianne, please.
Israel acquires a Chinese social platform that is all powerful in America.
Right.
And what else do they do? Larry Ellison underwrites his son, David Ellison, his acquisition of Paramount Pictures, as well as potentially Warner Brothers. And now they will own all the media together. They will own TikTok. They will own CBS, TBS, HBO Max, Showtime, Nickelodeon, UFC streaming. They're going to own all this stuff. And they're going to use their ownership of all of it to help Israel. They already are.
Wow.
Yeah, so enough already with the anti-Semitic trope that the Jews have a monopoly over the media. They're not even trying to hide it anymore, right?
Yeah, apparently they're not trying to hide it anymore. They going for broke with owning these companies. Man.
I was actually aghast by that video of, what is her name? I think it's Deborah Leah Lee, something. Just the bought and paid for shill for Israel, but with her interview with Netanyahu, he's bragging about how we're going to control TikTok and then we're going to move to X. We're friends with Elon. We'll have a crackdown over there as well. And he's
wow.
bragging about it. They're not trying to hide it. They're not trying to obfuscate anything. It's just it's unbelievable that a foreign leader is able to do that, and he's not going to be admonished by anybody in this government because they're all bought and paid for by donors, by the Israel lobby. They're completely beholden to them.
Right.
And then you have Epstein client list, blackmail. That's looming over this whole thing as well. Don't forget about that cover up.
David Ellison is going to buy out Bari Weiss and her publication, The Free Press, going to give her $100 million payday and just made her an executive at CBS. She is an Israeli spy. She was trained up by Yoram Hazony. She did internships in Israel with the Israeli military and Israeli government officials. She was mentored by Jews like Bret Stephens in America, Yoram Hazony in Israel. She is an Israeli spy. And she's going to run CBS. And she got a $100 million payday. They're using their fortune as secular Jews. Bari Weiss is a lesbian. She's got a wife. Larry Ellison's an atheist. They're using their fortune to help Israel for no reason other than they're Jews. Israel's a Jewish state. They're Jews. This is what they're doing.
All right. It is what it is. So this is the rabbit hole we down. We down this rabbit hole, right? So we just gonna watch and listen what the fuck is going on, right? Cause I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm listening. People buying up property. The message war is getting won and lost. We don't know how and when. Okay. I was trying to figure out what does this mean to Charlie Kirk? What does this mean? Why are they losing this information war? What's going on? Young people and social media. A big part of the problem for Israel is that the younger generations are getting much more information from social media, TikTok, Instagram, all of that. Where content used to favor, regular news shows used to favor Israel, now they got criticism of Israel, showing the suffering in Gaza, civilian deaths, destroyed infrastructure. It's spreading all over the internet. That's how they losing the war. Israel is often defensive rather than proactive. Charlie was asking them, you want me to go more proactive or you don't want me to go more proactive? I don't know. He was having doubts. Charlie Kirk said this in his letter. He believed anti-Israel and anti-Semitic sentiment were recorded. They were hitting record levels. On social media. Record levels. He had proof because every time he went to a campus, you could see they were asking questions. Hey, something is going on. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying no more. They had messaging strategy problems. They had messaging problems, okay? Criticism is that Israel's communication are reactive instead of proactive. He wanted to go proactive. Too formal, not translated well. People weren't having it. Basically, nobody was believing the message that people are not believing the message that Israel is the victims. I don't know whether they're a victim or not. There's a perception that much of Israel's public diplomacy is outsourced to us. Why does the Americas gotta talk about what's going on? Why is it y'all can't do your own publicity? Okay. Misinformation, myths, lies, labels. Okay. Accusations about apartheid, genocide in Gaza. If you got pictures, people telling, people videotaping, it's hard to counteract that. Especially if the rebuttals are, especially if people was getting paid to rebut what was going on. Because I know I seen an advertisement, somebody getting paid $7,000 just to do one of these live streams. Just got to do one. If I was to do one about Israel, a pro-Israel one, they would pay me $7,000. Okay. And it's been told, it's been heard, and it's been proven that people on the right, some of the Republicans, took that money. Somebody named Tim Pool, I heard Benny, somebody took money to say pro-Israel things. I'm just saying, allegedly. I don't know. That's what I heard. That's what I heard somebody say. That's what we've been hearing. Somebody named Benny, Tim Pool, these people. Benny Johnson, Tim Pool. Some of this stuff has been proven that they took the money from Israel to say positive things. Okay. So misinformation can be passed quickly, and then people are debunking stuff. Okay. And the whole point is people see the pictures. People understand what's going on. People ain't dumb. They get it. They see it. The imagery from Gaza, stories of civilians suffering, not being able to eat, homes destroyed. How you going to call yourself a Christian and support somebody that is starving other human beings? Okay, it could be Russia. I don't know. Why it could be that for them to help them with their Ukraine thing. Okay, even supporters of Israel got to look at what's going on and say, what the fuck is going on in Gaza? Okay. If you don't address those things and treat people humanely, people are going to look at you funny. Okay? And people who defend Israel, it seems as though you're dismissive of these people that may be dying. There might be some issues there. Okay? So Charlie Kirk recognized that there was issues and problems. We're not saying somebody came for Charlie. We saying we don't know. We don't know. We don't know what the hell is going on. All we know is those freaking shell casings is weird. The writing on shell casings are weird. Okay? And those text messages that he sent to his lover, weird. Okay? All of that's weird. So we just asking questions. This is what Candace was doing. This is what most people are doing. Okay? There's nothing wrong with asking questions. We need to know. Okay? There's too many people, too many things, too many ways to get the truth out of there. Too many ways to get the truth out. So that's why Israel is losing the information war, because now we can see. Now we have pictures. Okay? We have pictures of what was done, pictures of what is being done. You can't lie your way out of it. So all Candace was saying is, look, that boy, all this shit is going on with that boy. We don't believe it. Okay. That's right, Krusty. We can't say one way or the other. We can't say. Yeah, those text messages are weird. So we're going to keep on top of it. We're going to keep on top of it. We're going to keep on top of Candace. We're going to keep on top of Nick. We're going to keep on top of all of this stuff, all these developments. People buying up studios, TikTok being bought by a Jewish company. X, Y, and Z. I don't know. I don't know nothing about what's going on. All I know is I'm listening and learning like y'all listening and learning. Okay? So I'm saying we here for the bullshit, right? We here for the bullshit. I ain't being paid. I ain't no shrill. Y'all hit the like button, hit the hate button, share, all those good things, because we here every night to hear the gossip. We here every night to hear the stuff that's going on. Okay? I'm willing to be bought. St. Charles, the only way I'm gonna get bought is if I can say what I want, but it'll be for the side that I want to say it for. Okay? The Democrats ain't paying nobody to do jack shit. So if they ain't paying nobody to do jack shit, I don't get paid. So it is what it is. So y'all hit the like button, the share button, like the stream, comment, do all those good things. I'm willing to be bought too, but ain't nobody trying to buy my old ass. Okay, St. Charles? Ain't nobody trying to buy my ass. So I appreciate y'all coming for the stream. I'll be back here tomorrow. I was going to do another stream at 10 o'clock, but I haven't eaten. I haven't done any of those things. So I'm not going to do any of those things. I'm just going to let my show be for tomorrow. It's going to be a show on Charlie and his trip to Cambridge and see what happened over there in Cambridge. If anything preempts that, we have some breaking news, I'll be reporting that breaking news. But for the meantime, and in between time, y'all please hit that like button, going in and out, please and thank you. I appreciate it. Okay? I appreciate it. Thank you. I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. I see you tomorrow.